3. Hardcore theory and soft theory, or why physics predicts but literature maps. First principle, what is a theory? The text begins with a very important grounding statement. Theories are intellectual tools. Welcome to my yellow water bottle. That's it. Not truths, not beliefs, not dogmas. They are simply intellectual tools. But, and this is the core of the chapter, not all tools are designed to do the same job. Correct. Point number 2. Two kinds of theory, two kinds of world. The author draws a fundamental distinction. Hardcore theory is practiced in natural sciences like physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and soft theory is practiced in humanities. Example, literature, art, culture. They are different because their objects are different, their goals are different, their methods must therefore be different. They are different because their objects are different, their goals are different, therefore their methods must be different. Point number 3, hardcore theory, prediction is the goal. Hardcore theory aims, so their goal is to predict, right? Example, physics, chemistry, natural sciences. To explain how this works, the author, that is Iser Wolfgang, cites Norwood Russell Hanson, right? So the main aim of hardcore theory is to predict. Example, physics, chemistry, natural sciences. Point number 4, Norwood Russell Hanson's key insight. Theory comes before observation. Hanson makes a revolutionary claim. A theory is not built from observations. A theory is what makes observation possible as observation, which is very important. Hard theory te সব অবজারভেশন কি বলছে সেইটা দেখে থিওরি তৈরি হয় না, আগে থিওরি তৈরি হয়, তার উপর বেস করে ডিফারেন্ট অবজারভেশনস বানানো হয়। নরউড রাসেল হ্যানসন বলছে এটা। হ্যানসন মেক্স আ রেভলিউশনারি ক্লেম. A theory is not built from observations. A theory is what makes observations possible as observation. In simpler words, we don't first see facts and then form theory. We see facts through a theory. Theory tells us what counts as fact. কোন observation গুলোকে আমরা factual হিসেবে ধরবো? Point 5. Theory as a system. According to Norwood Russell Hanson, theories organize phenomena. They place observations into systems. They make scattered data intelligible. যাতে পড়তে পারে লোকে। Theories organize phenomena. Theories organize phenomena. They place observations into systems. They make scattered data intelligible. He uses a powerful phrase. A theory is a cluster of conclusions in search of a premise. A theory is a cluster of conclusions in search of a premise, meaning scientists observe patterns, then search for a keystone idea, a central principle that explains every observation naturally. And a central point. এটা আসছে theory, তারপর observation, তারপর সব অবজারভেশন গুলোকে অ্যানালাইজ করে কিস্টোন। সো অ্যাকর্ডিং টু হ্যানসন, থিওরিজ অর্গানাইজ ফেনোমেনা, দে প্লেস অবজারভেশনস ইনটু সিস্টেমস, দে মেক স্ক্যাটার্ড ডেটা intelligible. He uses a powerful phrase. A theory is a cluster of conclusions in search of a premise, meaning scientists observe patterns, they then search for a keystone idea, a central principle that explains everything naturally. Point number 6, keystone ideas become laws. When a keystone idea is found, it becomes a law. যে সব অবজারভেশনে যেটা keystone, এবার থেকে ফিউচারেও যে অবজারভেশন গুলো হবে, this has to be the keystone. তো কি হয়ে গেল? law হয়ে গেল. It becomes a law. From this law, predictions can be deduced. This is where Karl Popper enters. Karl Popper কে নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলবো, কিন্তু তার আগে basically when a keystone idea is found, it becomes a law. From this law, predictions can be deduced. ঠিক আছে? This is where Karl Popper enters. Karl Popper কি বলছে? That science equals law plus prediction. Popper বলছে the task of natural science is to find laws. এই keystone গুলো, ঠিক আছে? These laws allow scientists to deduce predictions, test hypotheses, future observations যেগুলো, and make probability based forecast, যে এটা হলে এটা হতে পারে, ঠিক আছে, এইগুলো। So Karl Popper says the task of natural science is to find laws. These laws allow scientists to deduce predictions, test hypotheses, and make probability based forecasts. Deduce predictions, test hypotheses, and make probability based forecasts. Prediction is not optional in hardcore theory, it is the core function. Goal tai oita, aim tai oita, to predict. Okay, so Karl Popper bolche the task of natural science is to find laws. These laws allow scientists to deduce predictions, test hypotheses, make probability based forecasts. Prediction is not optional in hardcore theory, it is the core function. Point number 8. Now the big turn. Soft theory is the opposite. Soft theory, humanities, works almost in reverse. Instead of starting with a law and deducting predictions, soft theory pieces together observed data, borrows elements from multiple frameworks, and combines presuppositions creatively. This process is called bricolage. B-R-I-C-O-L-A-G-E. Bricolage. Now soft theory, which is humanities, almost works in reverse. ঠিক আছে, instead of starting with the keystones, the law, and then deducting predictions, soft theory pieces together observed data. আগে observation দিয়ে শুরু হচ্ছে, and it borrows elements from multiple frameworks, right? ওই হ্যান combines presuppositions creatively, বা সবকটা presupposition কে খুব creatively combine করেন. This process is called bricolage. So soft theory pieces together observed data, borrows elements from multiple frameworks, combines presuppositions creatively. This process is called bricolage. Point number 9. Bricolage, the art of soft theory. Bricolage means working with what is available, mixing tools as needed, adapting the framework to the object. এই তিনটে পয়েন্ট কিন্তু আগের তিনটে পয়েন্টের সঙ্গে রিলেটেড। দেখো, pieces together observe data, working with what is available. With what is available, the observed data, তো সেগুলোকে piece together করছে. Point number 2, borrows elements from multiple frameworks. Number 2, এখানের হচ্ছে mixing tools as needed, again borrowing from multiple frameworks. Point number 3, ওখানের combines presuppositions creatively. Point number 3 এখানে adapting the framework to the object. Presuppositions গুলোকে creatively combine করছে কারণ they need to adapt the framework to the object. Okay, so working with what is available, mixing tools as needed, adapting the framework to the object. Soft theory adjusts itself to art and literature, not the other way around. Soft theory adjusts itself to art and literature. Art and literature does not have to adjust themselves to soft theory, যেটা hard theory তে হচ্ছে, not the other way around. Number 10, why prediction makes no sense in humanities. The text is very clear here. Art and literature cannot be predicted. They can only be assessed. Their meanings are multiple because again they are being borrowed from multiple frameworks and their relationships are unforeseeable. আগের থেকে দেখা যায় না কোথা থেকে কি relationships উঠে আসছে. So why is prediction making no sense in soft theory? সেটা হচ্ছে art and literature cannot be predicted. They can only be assessed. Their meanings are multiple and their relationships are unforeseeable. Art and literature cannot be predicted. They can only be assessed. They have multiple meanings and their relationships are unforeseeable. Cannot be predicted. Art and literature can only be assessed. Multiple meaning and their relationships are unforeseeable. We have to mug up this. Learn this. I don't mug up. Art and I do, I mean sometimes when there is a need. So art and literature are not predictable. They can be assessed. They have multiple meanings and their relationships are unforeseeable. Prediction aims at mastery. Mapping aims at understanding. So we got the keyword for soft theory. For hard theory it's prediction. For soft theory it's mapping. So prediction aims at mastery, but mapping aims at understanding. Humanities map, sciences master. Point 11, laws versus presuppositions. Point number 11, laws versus presuppositions. Another crucial distinction. Hardcore theory moves towards general laws, aims at universality. Soft theory starts from presuppositions. These presuppositions can change. The framework evolves with interpretation. প্রত্যেকটা interpretation যেমন অমনি frameworkটাও evolve করছে. So hard theory moves towards general laws. Hard theory moves towards general laws, aims at universality, whereas soft theory starts from presuppositions. These presuppositions can change. The framework evolves with interpretation. Soft theory is flexible, not fixed. So the framework evolves with interpretation. Starts from presuppositions. These presuppositions can change. The framework evolves with interpretation. Point number 12, the problem of closure. Very important. All theories need closure. Why? Because without closure there is no system, there is no theory. In hard theory, closure is achieved through laws. A particular keystone পেয়ে গেছে, এবার ক্লোজ করে দেবো আমরা. In soft theory, closure is achieved through metaphors or open concepts. যে হ্যাঁ এগুলো ইভলভ করবেই, এগুলো চেঞ্জ হবেই, তো আমাদের ফ্রেমওয়ার্কটাও ইভলভ করবে. That is the closure. So closure, all theories need closure. Why? Because if there is no closure, there is no system and absolutely no theory. In hardcore theory, closure is achieved through laws. In soft theory, closure is achieved through metaphors or open concepts. Point number 13. Point number 13, metaphors as keystones in soft theory. ওইখানে হচ্ছে ওদের observation, মানে particular keystone in every observation which becomes as laws, which become laws. And then in soft theory, the keystones are the metaphors. Just as laws anchor scientific theories, metaphors anchor humanistic theories. These metaphors close the system, hold the ideas together, allow coherence without rigidity. Close the system, hold ideas together, allow coherence without rigidity. They are called open concepts because they are ambiguous, they allow multiple references, they invite interpretation. ঠিক আছে, তুমি ইন্টারপ্রেট করতে পারো, ওখানে হার্ড থিওরিতে দ্য কিস্টোন ইজ দ্য ল, ইউ ক্যান্ট ইন্টারপ্রেট মোর অন দ্যাট, ইট ইজ হোয়াট ইট ইজ, কিন্তু এখানে ইট ইজ হোয়াট ইট ইজ এর কোনো কনসেপ্টই নেই, রাইট? সো জাস্ট অ্যাজ লজ অ্যাঙ্কার সাইন্টিফিক থিওরিজ, metaphors anchor humanistic theories. These metaphors close the system, hold ideas together, allow coherence without rigidity. They are called open concepts because they are ambiguous, they allow multiple references and they invite interpretation. Why? Because they are ambiguous, they allow open multiple references and they invite interpretation. They are ambiguous, they allow multiple references and they invite interpretation. So just as law anchors scientific theories, metaphors anchor humanistic theories. These metaphors close the system, hold ideas together and allow these metaphors. You know, it's very cold and I'm losing my mind. Focus. These metaphors close the system, hold ideas together, allow coherence without rigidity. They are called open concepts because they are ambiguous, allow multiple references, open to interpretation, invite interpretation. So these metaphors close the system, hold ideas together, allow coherence without rigidity. Yeah, they are called open concepts. এই metaphors গুলোকে open concepts বলা হয় because they are ambiguous, they allow multiple references, they invite interpretation. Examples one must remember, that is phenomenology. ঠিক আছে, what is phenomenology? Polyphonic harmony, different layers of work merging together. The phenomenology in soft theory is that. The phenomenology যেটা soft theory follow করছে হচ্ছে polyphonic harmony, বিভিন্ন layers একসাথে merge করছে. Hermeneutics, fusion of horizons, interaction between past experience embedded in the work, present disposition of the reader. Hermeneutics, okay? Have you all read Suspicion of Hermeneutics by Rita Felsky? Jodi na pore thako, please study, because I will be coming back with a lecture on Rita Felsky very soon. Okay, so phenomenology hoche polyphonic harmony, different layers of the work merging together. Hermeneutics, fusion of horizons. Next second. Fusion of horizons. Hermeneutics is the branch of knowledge that deals with interpretation, okay? Right. No. হারমানিউটিক্স মেটাফর কি হচ্ছে, এটা ফিউশন অফ হরাইজনস, interaction between past experiences embedded in the work and present disposition of the reader. Point 3, Gestalt theory, that is making and matching, adapting inherited schemata to perceive reality, associated with Ernst Gombrich. These metaphors complete the system. প্রথমটা হচ্ছে phenomenology, দ্বিতীয়টা হচ্ছে hermeneutics, তৃতীয়টা হচ্ছে Gestalt theory. Phenomenology we know, polyphonic harmony, hermeneutics fusion of horizons, and Gestalt theory making and matching, মানে adapting inherited schemata to perceive reality. Point 15, law versus metaphor, the core difference. This sentence is central. A law must be applied, a metaphor triggers associations. So laws establish realities, মেটাফর আউটলাইন দ্য প্যাটার্নস। বুঝতে পারছো, হার্ড থিওরি যদি মধ্যিখানে এক্সিস্ট করে তার বাউন্ডারিজ গুলোকে সফট থিওরি দিচ্ছে। কিন্তু ল ভার্সেস মেটাফর কোর ডিফারেন্সটা কি? আ ল মাস্ট বি অ্যাপ্লাইড, আ মেটাফর ট্রিগার্স অ্যাসোসিয়েশন, এটা থেকে ওটা, ওটা থেকে এটা, ওটা থেকে এটা। So laws establish realities, metaphors outline patterns, science explain what is, humanities explore how it appears. ঠিক আছে, দেখতে কিরম লাগছে? So this sentence is central. A law must be applied, metaphor must be trigger associations. A law must be applied, metaphors trigger associations. So laws establish realities. Law কি করছে? Reality establish করছে, and metaphor pattern outline করছে. So law is establishing reality and metaphor is outlining patterns. Science explain what it is and humanities explore how it appears. Point 16, testing, another major difference. In hardcore theory, statements are tested, predictions are verified or falsified. A theory survives by proving itself. তাই না? আজকে যদি আপেল নিচে না পড়তো আর নিউটনই বলেছে না, নিউটন গ্র্যাভিটি দিয়েছে, ইফ আই এম নট রং, ইয়েস নিউটন গ্র্যাভিটি দিয়েছে। তো যদি কেউ এসে বলে যে না আপেল তো নিচে পড়ছে না, আপেল তো উপরে যাচ্ছে, তাহলে ইটস falsified the gravity, but it's not. And why are we still following Newton's theory? Because it is testifiable, it's verified, it's being verified at each moment of the day, and hence it is true. A theory survives by proving itself. Karl Popper says if a theory passes several severe tests, it is corroborated, it has proved its metal. Prove করে theory বারবার নিজেকে। Right. So in hard theory, statements are testified, predictions are verified or falsified. A theory survives by proving itself. Popper says if a theory passes severe tests, it is corroborated. That is, it is being supported. It is asserting itself. It has proved its mettle. Point 17, why soft theory cannot be tested. Soft theory cannot be verified. It cannot be falsified. Has no measurable outcome. মানে তুমি কি দিয়ে ওদের টেস্ট করবে? কোনো আউটকাম দিয়ে? তো আউটকামই তো নেই। Has no predictions to confirm. You cannot prove a literary theory right or wrong. It just depends on interpretation. And AJ framework are evolving because interpretations change, because interpretations are again coming from presuppositions. So soft theory cannot be verified, cannot be falsified, cannot be verified, cannot be falsified, has no measurable outcome, has no predictions to confirm. You cannot prove a literary theory right or wrong. Point 18, competition without a referee. Because soft theories cannot be tested, they cannot be discarded easily. They compete rather than replace each other. আজকে অন্য কেউ যদি গ্র্যাভিটি অ্যান্টি কিছু এনে দেয়, তাহলে গ্র্যাভিটিটাকে আমরা সরিয়ে দেবো, তাই না? কিন্তু এইখানে you can compete alongside each other, you can't replace one another, তাই না? লিটারি থিওরিতে because soft theories can't be tested, they cannot be discarded easily, they compete rather than replace each other. But there is no universal standard, no overarching principle. Dominance depends on intellectual passion, cultural interest and historical moment. কোন সময় কোনটা বেশি চলবে সেটা ডিপেন্ড করছে তখনকার সোসাইটির মানুষের ইন্টেলেকচুয়াল প্যাশনের ওপর, কালচারাল ইন্টারেস্টের ওপর এন্ড হিস্টোরিক্যাল কি মোমেন্ট চলছে। এক্সাম্পল, ডিক্লাইন অফ মার্কসিস্ট থিওরি, রাইজ অফ সিস্টেমস থিওরি, হ্যাঁ না? So because soft theories can't be tested, they can't be discarded easily. They compete with each other rather than replacing each other. But there is no universal standard, there is no overarching principle. Dominance depends on intellectual passion, cultural interest, and historical moment. Example, decline of Marxist theory, rise of the systems theory. Point number 19. Why there are so many soft theories? This is the key explanation. Soft theories multiply because each starts, এই যে কি বললাম, different presuppositions, because each start from a different presupposition. Each has a limited scope, and each reveals something others don't. Post-colonial theory does not talk much about the racist theory. Taina, because post-colonial theory is starting from a different presupposition and racist studies is coming from a different presupposition, each of these two has limited scope and each reveals something that others don't. No single theory can exhaust art. No single theory এসে পুরো আর্টটাকে বোঝাতে পারে না, ঠিক আছে? তাই জন্য এতগুলো soft theory to explain art. This is the key explanation. Soft theories multiply because each starts from a different presupposition, each has a limited scope, and each reveals something others don't. No single theory can exhaust art. Point number 20, acceptance by assent, not proof. By assent, not proof. Scientific theories gain acceptance by tests. Humanistic theories gain acceptance by assent. I'm assenting to you. Very different from consent though. Assent হচ্ছে sign of approval or agreement. Okay. So humanist theories, Gemini scientific theories gain acceptance by tests. Humanistic theories gain acceptance by assent. What matters is কত ওই থিওরিটা, পার্টিকুলার থিওরিটা কতটা পারসুয়েসিভ, কতটা ইনসাইট দিচ্ছে, অ্যান্ড কতটা এক্সপ্লেনেটরি পাওয়ার রাখছে। সো কতটা পারসুয়েড করছে, ঠিক আছে, কতটা ইনসাইট দিচ্ছে, অ্যান্ড কতটা এক্সপ্লেনেটরি পাওয়ার রাখছে। সো হোয়াট ম্যাটার্স ইজ পারসুয়েসিভনেস, ইনসাইট, and explanatory power. Soft theory convinces, it does not prove. Final distinction, scientific theories gain acceptance by tests, humanist theories gain acceptance by assent. What matters is persuasiveness, insight, and explanatory power. Soft theory convinces, it does not prove. So if I have to summarize this whole lecture in one line, it will be hardcore theory predicts by laws, softcore theory maps by metaphors. Okay. If you remember just this line, half the chapter is already yours. So we are done with today's I guess third part of Iser Wolfgang. We'll now swiftly go to part 4.